What's going on, guys? It's Adam from Spiritus Systems, and today we're going to talk about some uniform tops, and I'm going to make the case for wearing a field top. So let's start over here with everybody's favorite top right now, the combat top. So everybody's kind of seen these, or you probably own one. If you've served in the military, you definitely have one. But it's our NICO sleeves and our nice t-shirt material on the center. It's great when you're wearing belts and vests and all your assault gear. You throw one of these guys on and it's just very comfortable, but you still have some kind of uniform sleeve there. So very, very specialized, very purpose built. But we have to kind of look back in time at uniforms. Our fathers, our grandfathers, grandfathers, they all wore some kind of like utility dress uniform. And it's kind of evolved up to the combat shirt. Combat shirts came from this war, from the global war on terror. We had guys, special forces guys, basically doing a lot of assaults, right? Doing a lot of flyaway missions where they were spending a lot of time on the objective and then getting out of there really fast, making sure that basically they're out before the sun comes up. So the combat shirt made a lot of sense, and it evolved from uniforms that were modified using t-shirts, actually. So you'd see a guy, with a Metallica t-shirt with, woodland sleeves on it or something. And that's really where the combat shirt came from. And don't get me wrong, combat shirts have a place, but I've been seeing in our culture, combat shirts kind of taking over into places where maybe a combat shirt is not the right option. And I think there's a large portion of our operational kind of reach that is not conducive to wearing a combat shirt. For instance, combat shirts don't do well in cold weather environments. That's just kind of an easy one to pick on, but it's just the truth. You're wearing a t-shirt essentially in a cold weather environment. They don't do well in a working environment either, where you are not wearing body armor, right? The material itself is a t-shirt material. It's just not as robust as the NICO material. So walking through dense vegetation without a plate carrier on, probably going to wear down the combat shirt a lot faster. And finally, they just don't have as much utility as something like a field top. So that's kind of the lightweight, side of the spectrum, right? We have this, super specialized, lightweight, t-shirt based NICO sleeve garment, even to the point where, this one, we cut the sleeves off of it to make it even more lightweight and cool in a hot environment. And then we go all the way to the other side of the spectrum. You have something like this guy. This is, and I'm actually just going to put this on as well so you can just see it. This is a Schmock. This particular model is made by First Spear. It's a good Schmock. It's a very high quality garment. But as you can see, this thing has a lot of pockets. I mean, an insane amount of pockets. And the idea of this garment is to basically carry the majority of your sustainment kit on the garment itself, or in the garment, right? I have pockets on the insides, I have pockets on the back, I have pockets all over the front, but I can tell you right now, this garment is heavy. It is a heavy garment. This would be great in a very dry, cold environment. It would be great because you could carry a lot of stuff on it. It's also great because you can drop some of your load carriage equipment. Say you could take off your LBE or whatever, your split rig, and you could take a couple of magazines and a radio and you can just stuff them in the pockets. So there's some utility there, but the garment is very heavy. Just like its lightweight, little brother, it's just not as versatile when we're going into, say, a really hot environment. This would not work in a very hot, arid region because it's just too thick, right? Again, a good garment, and it has a place. There's a lot of foreign militaries that use Schmocks quite often. But I'm not here really to talk about these two. I'm here to talk about the field top, or the BDU top, as a lot of guys will know. This has been in service. I'm going to put this one on. Tops like this have been in service in America for for quite a while, and even into this conflict, I found out very quickly that this was the right garment for me and the operations that I was conducting in Afghanistan. One of the things that I really like about just a field top, as they're starting to be called now, is that they are very versatile in the environments that they can be used in. For me in Afghanistan, we were doing a lot of very long movements, hundreds of kilometers through mountains, which would, multi-day missions. We would go from very hot in the day to very cold at night, or we would gain elevation. So it's nice to be able to wear something that, I can sweat in, I can use it while I'm walking around, and then when I get to where I'm going, I can let it dry out. And then at nighttime, I have another garment I can put on that will give me some warmth. Unlike a combat shirt, which, this is not warm at all. It's not the point of this garment at all. It's supposed to keep you cool. So once you transition into nighttime, if you're wearing something like that, you're very cold. I also like the pocket space that uniform top like this affords. I have pockets here on the chest. I have pockets on my arms. It's important to note that this top, like many tops that you can find at surplus stores, was modified from its original configuration. And that's another selling point for me, is that you can go to any surplus store pretty much in the country, and you can find a woodland top or a tiger stripe or whatever you can, whatever camouflage pattern you want. You can find it and you can modify it, have it modified by a tailor. Just some notes about that is, there's enough surplus out there to find a high quality top. So don't buy the first top that you come across. And second, you want a top that's been pretty unmolested. You don't want one that has heavy starching or has had a lot of cleaning cycles. If it was like a duty uniform for somebody in the service, that they kept it very well manicured. That starching and stuff can have effects on the IR defeat coatings and stuff like that. So if it looks really used, probably pass it up. If it's not too used, grab it. Take it to your local tailor, have them pull the lower pockets off, put them on the shoulders, and now you have what's called a raid mod, is something that you'll hear guys say. That's what this is. It's a raid modded top. And I like it because it's just a very versatile garment. Right now I have the sleeves rolled up a little bit. I can roll these sleeves up as far as I need in hot weather, or if it's getting cold, I can roll them down and I can button them up and put my gloves on and be warmer. I also can use this top for other tasks, right? I can fabricate litters out of it to carry other dudes around if I need to. I can carry equipment in it. There's just you get a lot when you have a nice, robust material like this. With a top like this, when I'm not wearing body armor, which I will admit, wearing body armor or wearing battle belts is where this top doesn't do as good of a job, although you still can do it. You're just tucking a lot more material into your pants. So a lot of guys don't like to do it because it's just a lot more to manage, but you can still wear it in that function. But it doesn't do as well as a combat shirt does in an assault function, which is why they exist. So I'm going to talk about this as a layer, though, of my equipment. And that's where I think, again, the field shirt does a better job than other tops out there, is that this is an actual layer that I carry important equipment in, and it gives me like very quick access to. So I'm just going to go kind of from my left side, and I'm just going to work across the body and just kind of show you some of the items that I carry. So I have an identifier on this. It's just Velcro, just like we're all used to. Velcro closures. And in this sleeve, I carry 2 red chem lights. One of those chem lights is it's just a normal red chem light with nothing on it, and then the other one is set up to be a buzzsaw. And all that is a length of cord that I can pull out, and then I can spin this to create essentially a buzzsaw of light, so I can signal with it. And the colors are specific to SOPs that I follow, but they don't really matter to you. You should really establish your own SOPs with your unit or your local group to establish colors and what they mean, so that no one else knows what they mean when you're using stuff to signal. I also carry some form of glucose. I prefer these now. They metabolize a lot quicker. This is a Cliff Shot. It just has some sugar. It's just basically a gelled sugar, and it allows you to just consume it very quickly. But these are great for after events happen, right? After something stressful happens. If you are in a shooting or if you've escaped something with your life, you're going to have an adrenaline dump that essentially is going to get you through whatever event you're going through, but you're going to crash. It's just like a crash afterwards. That cocktail of chemicals that has been dumped is going to cause you to crash, and you can avoid that by consuming something like this. This is going to ride you through and kind of taper you off of that, so you're not just crashing at the end. It's going to keep you from getting shaky. It's going to keep you from getting like kind of that jittery feeling or that uneasy feeling. It doesn't have to be a cliff shot. It could be a candy bar, but I find that this works in hot weather environments and stuff's not going to melt in your pocket. We're actually going to go there, my left breast pocket, I just carry like a simple notebook, and it has things like my glow board, GRGs, important stuff that I don't want to lose. I also want to have on me if I have to ditch my equipment. It's sensitive stuff that I just know it's in my pockets on my uniform, so I'm not ditching it with my equipment and having to like dig through to find, commo cards or anything like that. It's on my uniform at all times. This right one I keep pretty bare, is like one that I can put extra stuff in, but I do carry my smaller cut down signal panel. So this is just a slice of a VS17 panel. Again, you can get these at a surplus store, but I just cut down to the smaller one. I carry a bigger version as well in my pack, but for quick signaling and stuff, this works really well. But I keep this pocket pretty empty so I can put other items in there if I need. Center line, this is like a little tip from me. I just would always carry a photon light. So this is just a small flashlight. It's pressure sensitive. Essentially, you just click it on and off. You can also put it on a permanent on mode. I found myself a lot of times in between missions, you might be kind of transient at a different base or something like that. You get dropped off by a helicopter, and the next manifest is not for many hours. Maybe you're just walking around some unfamiliar fob at night. I just liked having a smaller light just in case I get thrown in that situation. I also have my headlamp, but this is just kind of a backup. But I ended up using this a ton. It makes it really easy just to always know that I have some sort of light on me in case, again, if I have to ditch everything else, I have that light with my uniform. My right sleeve, I take and carry two blue chem lights. So these guys are I just stow them in there loose. They have tape around them, so I know they're blue ones. Again, it's specific to my SOPs, but I mark them so I know that I'm not popping the wrong color. I also carry my markers. So I have a alcohol marker and I have a black marker. These are semi-permanent, so if I mark on a map or something, they're going to stay there. Even if you wipe it, it's not a dry erase. It's a wet erase, so you have to use an alcohol pen to get rid of the marks that you made. So I carry those in that sleeve. I also carry a bug net. So this is something that's very lightweight, very small, but it's something that I think I get the most laughs about, but until it's nighttime and the bugs are out. So I'm just going to put it on. So you guys can laugh at me about it, but whatever. So I love this thing. So many times I've worn this guy at night, and it just protects you from the bugs, keeps them off you. It's a hygiene thing as well as a comfort thing. If you're getting just destroyed by mosquitoes, you're going to eventually get sick. Eventually you're going to catch the wrong mosquito and you're going to get sick. So protecting yourself from that, also protecting yourself from the want to itch, all those sores and stuff. This is money. It's lightweight. It basically costs you nothing, but it's there. You can put it on at night with a top like this. I can put this on. I can put gloves on. I can roll my sleeves down. I can button this all the way up and really kind of close myself in the top and get myself out of the bugs. And you're wearing 2 layers. If you're wearing a t-shirt and this, the mosquitoes are going to have a hard time getting through into your flesh. But when you're wearing something like this, you're just going to get eaten up, right? That's another thing, is like at night, you're just going to get eaten up by bugs if you're wearing a combat shirt. So I mean, that's basically it, guys. I mean, you can, like I said, you can find these for cheap, modify them in a way that makes them your own. You don't necessarily have to modify it in this way. Also showed you like a basic breakdown of some of the items that I always carry on my top. These pockets become quite full when you're actually doing operations. You're going to stash other things in there. You're going to get other pieces of equipment or other pieces of intel that you're going to put inside your pockets. But this is kind of like my base load that I always carry. So I appreciate you guys watching the video, and we're going to see you next time.